I called him Dan the Man, but students called him Dr. Scalberg. What a complex man. He was half a person who loved to go out and listen to jazz half of the night and just hang out on one side. And on the other side, he was the scholar who could sit in a French library studying manuscripts for 12 hours and be confident he had a good time. One of the pieces of wisdom, we were roommates, and one of the pieces of wisdom he received and happened to mention to me, someone said to him, Dan, if you're looking for a wife, you will never find someone like you. So you'll need to pick the jazz half or the scholar half and let the other part just work itself through. And he said that to me, and I said, Dan, that is great. That is beautiful wisdom. I think you ought to listen to it. He did. He picked the jazz side that turned out to be Kim Scalberg. Students noticed that as we were roommates, we were as different as night and day. In fact, before we became roommates, some of his friends said, you two people are so different, you shouldn't be roommates. We took that seriously because the worst thing you want is to lose a good friend because you were roommates. Students, of course, noticed it also, and they called us the odd couple. Now, of course, that came, if you remember from that era, came from a TV program called The Odd Couple. It was Felix and Oscar. Felix was the detailed, on-time, non-messy person who was a pain in the neck. Oscar was the laid-back, just let the clothes go anywhere they're going to go. And students saw the TV program and said, that's The Odd Couple. And nobody had a problem after they looked at our offices knowing which one was which one. One thing Dan was good at was taking vacations. And I don't think I'd ever taken a vacation in my life. So he would announce to me during the summer, I'm going to California. About this third time he went on a vacation, I said to him, Dan, can I go with you? I think I need vacations too. And you seem to know how to take them, and I've never taken one. He said, yeah, one of my best memories, and a variety of memories, were going on vacations with Dan. We did a 2 weeks in Hawaii. That was one of the highlights for me. We went to Vancouver once and had a chance to hear Pinnock teach theology and go out to lunch with him. I'm thankful I now take vacations, and the only reason is Dan the Man was my roommate. One day I saw Dan with Kim at school, and I said, where are you going? And they said to take out a mortgage. Oh, are you getting a house? No, we're adopting children. And we don't have the money. And so we need to get some money. They took out a mortgage, and pretty soon we had Annetta and we had Daniel Jr., and I got to know both of them, African American, and wow, having Dan and Kim as their mom and dad really had a huge effect. Watching them grow up. Now Daniel Jr., master's degree, he's teaching French, he's teaching history. He was selected from a large group of people to be able to teach history in France, in their system, of course, in French. and was able to do it. And now, of course, a whole bunch of places want him teaching French. Dan was creative. And one of my favorite classes to go visit was when he did the John Calvin class. Now, if you've ever seen pictures of John Calvin in the commentaries, real thin face. And when Dan would dress up at John Calvin, he looked like John Calvin. And then he would give part of the lecture in French, like John Calvin would, and then he would give the rest in English to give a flavor for what that teacher was like and making history come alive. One of the things I am thankful for is that I was part of the odd couple, and Dan the man has changed my life probably forever.